Welcome back to WAVE3 Listens. I am joined by Matthew Duffy. It's been a very fascinating show, and Matthew handles all kinds of dog problems. It can be as simple as barking at strangers, or it can be as complex as bomb sniffing. It's all very interesting. Once again, whitefangventures.com. Mr. Duffy, you ready to handle some phone calls again?
I'm ready.
All right. We've got Patricia with us. Patricia, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hello, Patricia. Go ahead.
Okay, mine's pertaining to potty training. I have a 1.5-year-old Chiapom, and I started him off on training on a pad. He's a house dog. And then this past summer, I started taking him outside. He still uses his pad, and I take him outside 8 to 10 times a day. But I'm having a problem with him wanting to mark everything in the house, and I want to know what to do about that.
Okay, I'll start with, you actually have a couple issues going on here. Marking is really not a bladder relief issue. It's a dog wanting to lay down his territory, his mark. So that is strictly a behavior that needs to be extinguished, utilizing, again, leash, collar, supervision, and when you're unable to supervise, put him in a safe place, a nice, comfortable dog pen, a nice, comfortable dog crate, a fenced yard, somewhere where he cannot mark freely. Now, let's say that this is a bladder relief problem. You're saying, I'm taking him out 8 to 10 times a day. I think it's fabulous for him, but he may not be learning how to control his relieving. Look at it that way. So if he has the opportunity to use a pad whenever he wants to, you take him out 8 to 10 times a day. He's never had to learn hold it. He needs to learn to hold that. And if you decide you want him to go outside, I recommend taking up the pee pads. If you decide I want him to use the pee pads inside, fine. Use that as your relief area, and you can actually use a large litter box for this too. You set a pattern, a system, a schedule for him, stick to it. He is looking for you to lead him, and that's the way you should look at it. And again, with that small type, keep in mind, when he goes outside, the grass is wet and dewy, he's got this frosty grass up to his chin, hard for him to relax out there. We always suggest with the little dogs, if they're going to go outside, have a pea gravel area, a mulch area, hopefully under some kind of shelter where the environment itself doesn't bother him too much. Unlike my German Shepherd, he couldn't care less if it's raining outside. He's comfortable in the wet grass and the mud. Your little Chiapom is not. So you need to make the outside a little more comfortable or make the inside the bathroom area, but stick to one or the other.
Once again, all breeds are different, right, Matthew?
They are, absolutely.
Right. Penny is with us. Penny, welcome to the show. Hi, Penny.
Hi.
You have a question?
Yes, I do. I have a 3-year-old female toy poodle, and whenever I play with her or get her excited, you know, jump around, she invariably humps my arm. And I don't, yeah, it's funny. Everybody thinks it's funny. They get her excited, she jumps on my arm.
Right.
So I know how I can stop that.
Easily taken care of, honestly. Handle the humping on your arm like you would chewing on your bootlaces or trying to eat the pizza off the coffee table. It's something that you don't like, and it is funny to hear only because you can imagine this little dog going to town, but it's not funny for you. So the best way to deal with that is like we deal with every behavior we are really wanting to extinguish, leash and collar. You said, but I want to play with her. Play with the leash and collar on. She can drag that around. It's not going to get in the way. And when she starts to hump on you, grab the leash like you saw me do with the little Labrador. Tug, 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 and you back this little guy off, go right back to the playing. You can do tug of war, wrestle around. There's nothing at all wrong with that kind of play. But when your little friend tries to turn the play into a game she prefers, then that's when you step in and say, no, we're not doing the hunching for fun. We're doing tug of war, wrestling, but not that particular thing.
All right. Want to grab another phone call?
Yeah, let's do.
All right. I think we have Caroline. Is it Caroline or Caroline? Sweet Caroline. Is that right?
Oh, you're
Carolyn,
Carol.
yes. I have a 3-year-old Jack Russell mix, and he's very protective of me. Whenever my husband walks into the room, either from outside or from another room, he barks and growls, and I don't know what to do to stop it.
That can be a challenging case, and it's very unpleasant for your husband, obviously. My feeling, again, is to first address the issue away from the hot spot. For example, let's say the bedroom is a hot spot. That's when the Jack Russell mix is at his most energized, his most aggressive. Let's start teaching him how to handle your husband better, maybe in the living room or in the kitchen. And you teach him that you, his primary handler, will not tolerate this kind of unpleasant behavior directed at somebody you love. So when he first growls, and think of two, you're trying to catch this aggressive fire at its spark. As soon as he begins to growl or curl up at your husband, waste no time. Leash and collar tugs to redirect his focus. Do not force your husband to pet and befriend the dog. That sometimes turns the dog off and makes him a little bit more offensive towards the man. So calm, pleasant around the dog.
Carolyn, I have a question for you. Are there times when you actually enjoy him growling at your husband?
Oh, of course.
I was just curious. All right. Joyce, you have a question for Matthew? Go ahead.
Yes. I've got a little Chihuahua. He's supposed to have been about 2 years old when I adopted him from the Humane Society. They said he was in perfect health. Well, I had him home a week. Had to rush him to the doctors. Doctor said he was poorly malnutritioned. He had bad ears. The ears were really infected. Anyhow, it was $100 and something. Well, then I brought him back home, and about 2 weeks later, I had to take him back again. And I've asked him about him chewing on himself. His skin's real dry, and none of them will tell me what to use for having dry skin.
All right, I'll handle this as best I can. And my dear, I am not a veterinarian or a nutritionist, but I can tell you this. Coming from his background, probably poor nutrition all his life, and it's going to take a while for his system to become healthy again. What you put in his body is what's going to come out. So feed him a high-grade dog food, high-quality food. Make sure he gets plenty of fat and oil and protein. Work with your vet and give it some time to work out. But again, if this persists, he may have some other issues. He may have some irritations to fleas that are extreme compared to other dogs. But given his background, probably. Improve the nutrition for a longer period of time and give his little system a chance to normalize. Good advice. All right. Thank you so much. We all love our animals, and if you love your doggy like we do, give us a call if you have any questions for Mr. Matthew Duffy. We'll be right back on Wave 3 Listens.